It's that time. Welcome to Roadmap, how to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week, we interview a great agent who's consistently taking several listings each month. We have an exciting guest today. We encourage you to take notes and apply as much of their knowledge as quickly as you can, and then use the copycat principle. Let me introduce my co-host from San Diego, Carly Hathaway. That's carlyhathaway.com. Hi, Carly. How's the real estate business?
Hi, Ren. Hi, everybody. Real estate is fabulous. I love being a listing agent when the inventory is so low. Things are moving fast.
Great. Before I introduce our guest today, I want to remind everybody that we're also simulcasting the show on the private lead gen group on Facebook. They have 52,000 members, so we have a large audience there today as well. And we will be pausing for a commercial message during the show as a thank you to the lead gen folks. Let's welcome our guest today from beautiful, beautiful Southern Florida, from Boca all the way down to Miami and in between and maybe a little further up and down, Kimberly DeSocio. Welcome,
Hi,
Kimberly.
Ren. Hi, thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here today.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on, Kimberly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carly.
Cool. Hey, so let's just get right into it. Can we start out learning a little bit about you? What is your goal for the year?
My goal for the year, well, in a market that we're in, which none of us expected it to take off the way it did, I've been inundated with listings, and I do thank Vulcan 7 for that, and learning all the new skills that we were able to be taught. And it's really helped my business a lot, tremendously. So right now I've been a listing machine, and the market is really great here in South Florida. As everybody knows, everybody's been migrating here from the Northeast, and that's keeping us really busy.
That's great. Don't you love just being a listing agent? It's so nice.
I do. And sometimes it has you all over the place, when you're going in a lot of different directions. But, for me, I work with so many people that are also snowbirds, and they don't live here full time. And that makes everything very interesting and different every single day. And who wouldn't love working at the beach?
And you have to learn a little French here and there, probably, and a little Spanish.
A little bit of everything.
Or maybe a lot of Spanish.
Yeah.
Good for you. And how long have you been in the industry?
I've been in since 2012.
Okay, so a while. But you're newer to prospecting, is that right? Or
I worked for probably the first 5 years as more of a buyer's agent, just because of the particular company that I was with. Didn't really know much more of the other side of it. And then once I changed companies, I started to figure out, what do I need to do? How do I want to run my business? And then just recently, going into Vulcan 7 because I needed something more to add to my business. And that has opened up a whole new world for me, actually. And now I do business a whole different way because of that.
okay, interesting. I like it. So how long have you been calling with Vulcan 7 then?
Probably I'll be coming up just almost a year. A year.
And I've heard you've really blown it up, and you're picking up a lot of business from that.
I did. I picked up 10 listings just recently, and I have about $20 million in inventory right now.
Ooh, I love that. 20 million, I'll take it.
And I owe that to Vulcan 7. I really do, because I would have never gone outside the box, as I call it, to do, what I do every single day. I now make prospecting a big part of my day, and it's every single day. Rather than trying to find the time for it, I now devote the time for it.
Great.
I love hearing that.
One of the, we have people that watch this that struggle with the idea of going down this road and calling people they don't know. Might be an expired or for sale owner. Maybe they're calling around a recent listing or a sale or whatever it may be. What advice can you give them? Because the only thing this show is about is to help people that get a listing now and then, that get a buyer now and then, to get into where they can make a tremendous fortune. What advice would you give somebody who's in the earlier stages of this? What did you have to go through mentally or in your routine to get that thing really moving?
A lot of mental every day. It was not easy. Rejection's not easy for anybody. I don't care what business you're in. Nobody likes rejection, and nobody likes cold calling. If you asked me, I would have said, no way, I'm not going to do it. But when it comes to, I'm a single mom and I have a 10-year-old daughter. There is no plan B. There's only plan A. And so I made myself every single day get on the phone. And even the days that were challenging, I would tell myself, okay, just do 30 minutes. If you just do 30 minutes today, 30 minutes tomorrow, it'll all, get easier and easier. And it's true. It did. The more that I did it, the more skills that I had, those helped come over those challenges and those obstacles that we play in our mind every single day with rejection and objections. Mm-hmm. And every day it got easier, and every day I got more confident, until it was like, now it was just, I'll talk to anybody on the phone. I don't care how angry they are. I don't care what personality they are. The harder they are, the more I feel even more motivated.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Because it probably chases off everybody else that calls, and if you hang in there, you win.
Yeah. And I feel there's enough food for everybody. And, there might be some that, you didn't win, and it's okay, because tomorrow's a new day and there's more to go to the next day.
Mm-hmm. There is abundance for sure.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have a really strong why, your, wonderful 10-year-old daughter. So keeping that in mind, you say now you prospect every day. Can you just walk us through your morning routine now that you made prospecting a priority?
Yeah. So I started 8:00 in the morning every day. I, shifted some things around to make sure that, 8:00 I'm on the phone, and I prospect. Usually I'll go through whatever comes in my database for those particular zip codes that I might have asked to be put in. And then from there, I'll then go into, calls that were from the day before, a couple of days before. And I try to at least do at least an hour. If there's days that I could do more than that, I do. But I typically try to do at least an hour, and I try to do at least 100 people, at least 100 names in my bucket, as I call it.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. And I heard you said before you started with 30 minutes a day, you pushed yourself, and now you're up to an hour a day, sometimes more. How long did it take you for that breakthrough to get to an hour a day?
I would probably say maybe within a couple of weeks or so. I'm just that type of personality that I knew that I could be very successful at this if I just learned to master it. If I just stuck it out and I just learned to master it, then I knew that I would succeed. And that's what I told myself every day. But I'm the type that also has to break it down into smaller segments so that I could feel better about it. If I bit off too much that I can't chew, then I get discouraged. So if I did little increments of that 30 minutes, then that just made me feel better every day. So every day I would add to it, and it might be 45 minutes, and it might be 50 minutes. And there's been days that I've done 2.5 hours, and some days I've done AM and PM.
It almost sounds like a gym membership where you go and then you start out with the 8-pound weights and you go to the 10s and the 12s. You work out a little longer duration. And one day you look in the mirror and go, woohoo. Well, in your case, you look in your bank account and go, woohoo.
Exactly. Exactly.
And now, instead of the lower weights and struggling, when you're getting objections, you're laughing them off and moving forward.
Yeah, there was a guy today actually, and I called him a few times. They don't remember us most cases, and I called him again, and each time he said he already had somebody and he was listing it already. And so today I got him on the phone again, and I said, well, is it signed? Is your paperwork signed? Well, no, I'm going to. And then I said, well, wouldn't you like another option and at least another opinion? As a business decision, that makes the most sense, doesn't it? And I said, so when can I interview for the job of selling your home? And he said, I'll be in town on Tuesday. Call me.
Woohoo!
So,
I love that. And I love that you are saying that. And I've heard that on rare occasions from people that are really good at this, where they're like, well, when can I meet with you? And right after a point where they say, I'm already blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you say that, and then all of a sudden it's sort of like a door opens.
Mhm.
Totally
So
changed.
it's a great script, but
Right.
people are afraid to use it because they buy into the defense, which is a lot of times it's a make them up.
Right.
Yeah. So folks, what she just did, try it.
second
It
opinion.
works. It works.
Get a second opinion always.
Yeah. Well, when can I meet with you? When can I schedule an interview? Even though they say, well, we've got that all figured out. When can I? And then they're like, hold on, how about Thursday? And so you're like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
But it's so common.
And you, like you said,
if you use that script, most agents will not use that script.
Right.
And you stuck with it, and you kept calling him. Like you said, they don't remember you. They
No.
they
Right.
didn't write
Mike
your name
Darda
down.
used to do that one, and he sells on the other side of your state. He sells, he's taking 20 listings a month using our system. They would say, well, we've already got blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, when can I schedule my interview? And they'd say, hold on, how about Wednesday at 4? So it's a rarely used script, but it works well.
Right. You catch them off guard.
Yeah.
You catch them off guard because, again, there's really only a handful of things that a seller says. If you really wrote it down every single day, they all say about the same 6 things, So if we just stick to what we're going to say, knowing that that's coming up, then we already have it covered, and asking them questions really kind of trips them up, and they don't really, the next thing you know, you're having a conversation.
Yeah, that's perfect. And like you said, you learn those same 4, 5, 6 objections, and you're ready for them, and you can't wait to hear them because they're that much closer to a yes, So
right, exactly.
the more you do it, the more you'll learn. Totally.
Right.
So you start calling at 8 a.m. You said you said, you call your zip codes, but are you calling expireds? Are you calling FSBOs?
I strictly go after expireds. Sometimes I've called FSBOs, but I feel for me, I like the expireds because I know that they were already on the market. I know that they had unsuccessful results. I know the way I do business and what I can do for them. And that's how I lead in.
Okay, I like it. And are you using a script to call those expireds?
I do. Yep, definitely. And in the beginning, I did not because I didn't feel comfortable with the script. And I thought, okay, you know what? That's not me. I'm not going to say that. I'll say this. I got nowhere. I said, okay, you know what? I better follow that script. Maybe I'll just read it the way it goes. And then it was like a light bulb went off and then the doors opened, and it works like a charm.
We've heard that so many times. People try to go it on their own, and then as soon as they just finally, like you said, the light bulb goes off and they use the script, they're like, oh my God, I'm getting listing appointments.
There's a fear of scripts because people what they remember is the poor use of a script. And that's offensive. It's not that a script is not offensive. In fact, it's pretty darn powerful because it's well thought out. The poor use of a script is offensive.
Right.
So if it sounds like you're chopping your way through it, as we've heard from people that call from time to time, but as you internalize that and you make it in your words at your cadence, it gets it. What do they call it? Predictable and duplicatable. Whereas wing it is not predictable and duplicatable.
Yeah. I mean, when you wing it, you aren't prepared for what they might say, because when you're within the script, and I know sometimes, for lack of a better word, because script sometimes makes it feel like it's so sales pitchy, but it's not. The script that we use is really a conversation. It's a conversation to have with the people, So even though we are following a script, you wouldn't know we're following a script because we're talking as a conversation, So it's a whole different approach, So you're not really coming across so sales pitchy.
Yeah,
exactly. Now you've been doing this 8 years, so you're bound to have a lot of past clients and people that know you, a database, if you will.
Yes. Yep.
So how big is your database? 200, 300?
Actually, I think I might have maybe about 700.
700, okay.
But out of that, believe it or not, in the short time of almost a year with Vulcan 7, I have about 150 leads that came from Vulcan 7.
Nice, good. Some suspects there, good. So how often are you staying in, I mean, because one of the powers of the business is, not only calling the people you don't know, which you're doing very well, but continuing to call the people you know, that you've either done business with them or you know them well, because it creates that long-term pipeline. Are you doing that? Or, as I did for 16 years, are you neglecting the hell out of them?
No, well, one of the things that I'm really, really good at is follow up.
Good.
I am extremely great in follow up. And believe it or not, probably most of my success with Vulcan 7 is because I followed up with these people. They were not ready, no. But I got them to give me their email. So then they became a lead. I touch them at least 2 to 3 times per month. I'm reaching out to them. I'm showing them whenever I get a new listing, they're getting notified. They see my listings, and little by little, it starts to build the know, like, and trust. And, once you do that, it's kind of like dating and courting. You can't expect somebody to marry you just because you called them today, so they get to know me. They feel they get to know me, like me, trust me. And then next thing you know, I'm getting the listing. One lady was, it was just when COVID-19 hit in March, and she came up expired. It took me probably about 5 months, and then she was ready, and I got a $2.4 million listing.
Woo!
And the big point here is most of the business comes on lead follow-up. And there's so many people that struggle with that. They'll call once or twice and it'll fall off. And then obviously Kimberly gets it.
Yes.
Right. I don't go away.
And once you have them in as a lead, you have their email. How often are you calling them? I know you're sending them emails with your new listings and stuff, but how often are you actually calling them?
I guess it probably depends who it might be, what they might have told me, if there's a certain reason why they're delaying or something like that. Otherwise, I'm probably calling them probably every 3 weeks or so,
Okay.
It could be more than that, but sometimes I don't want to turn somebody off with too much, but I'm also emails with information. So a lot of times I'll send an email and I'll give them market data. I'll tell them what, how many properties closed and how many are pending based on their area, based on their condo building, something like that. So I try to give value each time. It's not asking for business. It's, I want to give you value.
That's smart, because then you're going to be their go-to person when they are ready.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much how I got most of my listings, was because of that.
Good. And as Ren would say, what's your batting average? Like how many listings are you taking that you go on?
You go on 10. How many do you take?
It's been the ones that I've followed up, the ones that I've gotten the appointment like that and on the phone and I've gone to, I didn't get. And they always loved my presentation, but for whatever reason, they selected someone else. But the ones that I continually followed up on were just like, okay, I'm ready, come over. And then I just had the listing. Sometimes I didn't even have to ask. They were just like, did you bring the paperwork?
Mm-hmm.
So
you built that strong
you're not tracking that batting average that tightly then. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you track your numbers in a way like,
I do track my numbers. They probably could be fine-tuned a little bit more than
One
that.
of the reasons, and you mentioned a couple of times our Take 52 training on Tuesdays and Thursdays. One of the things that they do is try to push a lot of people into formal coaching so that you have the accountability, you're tracking your numbers and all that piece. So, and we get a lot of people that get involved with us because of one coaching company or another, and we try to push them back to that to get into, even though a lot of those are $1,000 a month, the yield on that is even higher because of the additional accountability piece. You think that would be in your future?
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
I think that
we got to sign you up for somebody's coaching. Did you? Yeah. How did you find us in the first place?
I was with a different brokerage, and they had this call center that had a place for us to go, and it would provide numbers and names for us to call for business. And so I went there a couple of times, found out that it was Vulcan 7, and I immediately liked it and knew that it had potential, but I didn't like the setting because we were kind of in this like hole in the wall place, and there were people listening. And
Were you right next to it was a boiler room. You're right next to the boiler.
something like that. Exactly, something like that. And then somebody over your shoulder listening and then saying something, and you're already uncomfortable to begin with.
Yeah.
You're already out of your comfort zone.
Torture me.
So I was just like, you know what? I can't do this. I need to do this in my house.
I know. It's nice. You just go down the hall, turn into the next room, and you're at work, and then come back,
Right.
which
So,
in 2020, that's what we're all doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I knew it had potential way back then, but I needed to be in my setting, and nobody hovering over me.
So now you got the best of both worlds,
Oh,
and
it's awesome.
and you make all the money.
Awesome. Right.
And we are so excited about your success and all the money that you're making.
Thank you.
And
Thank
this
you.
has been a real treat, Kimberly, a real treat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Good.
Thank you. I mean, this has just changed my life, my daughter's life, and my business.
If somebody watching this has a listing referral for your part of the world, which is common, and actually even more, folks, as a real estate agent, especially if you're in Chicago or the Northeast somewhere, or her previous hometown up in Connecticut, where it's cold as heck, and you want a second home, she will fix you up. But if you have a referral for her, how do you reach it? What's the best way for them to find you, Kimberly?
They can find me Facebook. They can Google my name, Kimberly DeSocio. I appear everywhere. I'm very active in social media. And they can go to KimberlyDeSocioHomes.com is my website.
Good.
Amazing.
Let's we're going to check back with you in about 6 months or so and see how it's going.
Okay, great.
Good.
All right.
Folks, if you're watching on Vulcan 7 and you want to get involved with the Lead Gen Facebook group, you can find them at facebook.com/groups/got-objections. We're so grateful for their simulcast. And finally, if you're watching on Facebook on that group and you're not yet involved with Vulcan 7, make sure to sign up at vulcan7.com/lead-gen for a special deal. And now you've wanted to know what Kimberly's secret is that she didn't tell you, because she didn't tell you her number one secret. What happens is each day after she makes her calls, she goes to the freezer and gets out Grater's chocolate chip. This is the one for listings. You know the other flavors like Rocky Road, that's working with buyers. Obviously, that's why they call it Rocky Road. But the Grater's mint chocolate chip is for taking listings. If the listing is slow to sell, in the case of Kimberly, you dig a hole in the front yard in the sand, you bury it upside down, and that listing will sell just like that. So we want to thank everybody for being here. You can find Grater's all over North America. Just go to graters.com to find the store near you. Excited to have everybody here.
Thank you so much. Kimberly, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been a great show. So much good information.
Thank you for the information, and I hope that inspires a lot of people to be as wealthy as you are.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks again, Kimberly.
Bye.
Bye.